Okay.
So we can start.
Yes, questions are there. If somebody wants, he can take the screenshot and then can answer during the lecture in the message box. It can be answered in message box as a yes or no. Mostly the answer will be in the form of yes or no.
Dear participants, are you ready?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay, we can
Yes.
start, no? Hopefully. Let other participants join.
Yes.
So we should not waste our time. We are very fortunate to have Professor Mohammad Masroor Alam. He is a professor, Department of Civil Engineering, AMU, Aligarh. He has a vast teaching and administrative experience. Like he was the Joint Director, Center for Promotion of Science. He was the Nodal Officer. He was the member Grievance Cell of Engineering College. He was the coordinator, NSS, AMU unit. He was the provost of Nadim Taren Hall. He was the member of AMU Court. He was the member of Academic Council. He was the departmental coordinator for BTech program. He was the member of Departmental Committee on Center of Disaster Management Studies. His topic of deliberation today will be on climate change and problem of pollution. He has vast research experience, more than 20 years. Also, he has undertaken many research projects. He has guided many MTech and PhD scholars, more than 20. He has research publication in national and international journal. The number is more than 100. He published huge number of other publications in different areas, and he has published book, edited some books, and he has delivered many talks, more than 25, and he has huge professional and industrial contribution. So we are very much thankful to have you in this program as resource person. On behalf of the AMU as well as AMU Center Murshidabad, I would like to welcome and thank you, sir, for your eagerness, willingness to be part of this program. Thank you very much, sir. Over to you, sir, Professor Mohammad Masroor Alam, sir.
Thank you very much. I am very glad to be part of this training program, come orientation program. Perhaps this is my 14th or 15th lecture in this program. I have put a few questions just to have an idea to that what you think of this problem of climate change. And simply you have to write answer in yes or no. Dr. Imtiaz Ahmed has answered that almost answer for all the questions are yes, almost correct. But if somebody has some reservation, in question number 5, you have to write down the things in order, that which of the problem is most severe as far as your perception goes. So in question number 5 and 7, you have to write a few orders, and in 10, you can write an answer that what is the easiest way to help our environment, or what is the easiest way to check the problem which we are facing because of climate change. So, okay, thank you for my introduction. I am basically an earth scientist. I have done my PhD in geology. My subject area is sedimentology, which is a branch of geology. My research area was Jodhpur and Jaisalmer. But later on, I joined as a lecturer in 1996. And then I was given task of teaching engineering geology, which is again a branch of geology, and it is very specialized branch. And it is also taught to the civil engineers, because civil engineers, they come across with different rock formations and what you call different geological issues when they construct in the rocky areas, and when they construct tunnels and dams in the hilly areas. I have seen the list of participants. Many of you are from Arunachal Pradesh, many of you are from Jharkhand. So you must be very well aware of the importance of hills and valleys and rocks and whatnot. So my actual job from last 25 years or more is to teach civil engineers the subject engineering geology, which is a very basic course at second year level. Then at final year level, we teach slightly advanced course, which is called as rock engineering. Now, as you are participating in this program, we have also participated when we were lecturer and associate professor or reader in orientation program and in induction program. So this is part and parcel of our life, of our academic life. A teacher is defined as a boy who goes to school but never comes out. So we are the first learner. Teacher is the first learner. So keeping that in mind, we always try to learn from not only books, but also from whatever happening around us. The new education policy, which came in 2020, it has a very special focus on sustainable development. And sustainable development can only be possible if you understand your nature, if you understand your environment, if you understand your surrounding, then you can have a thought process for sustainable development. The new education policy under which this program is running has a mandate to ensure inclusive and equitable quality education, promote lifelong learning and opportunities for all. We are all teachers spread all over the country. We have different field of specializations. All academicians should have, apart from their own subjects, should have some insight into the others' subject area. And that is called as inclusive education. For holistic and multidisciplinary education across the sciences, social sciences, arts, humanities, and sports, to achieve unity and integrity of knowledge, we should be having some basic background knowledge of the issues which are common to all. We may be of different subject areas, but for living in this planet, apart from our own subjects, we have to know many more things. We have to know the basics of living in a society. We should know basic of sociology. We should know basics of philosophy, basics of many different subjects. So this is all about the introduction. Let's come to the topic. I'll be discussing two different issues. One is pertaining to climate change, and another is about pollution. Sometimes climate change and pollution can be linked, but sometimes they can be dealt as a separate issue. Pollution may not bring climate change. Pollution may not bring climate change as a main, but it can harm people much more than what is going to be harmed by climate change. Pollution can harm us in much fierce way as compared to the climate change. Now in this slide, I have tried to show you some milestones as far as climate change is concerned. Joseph Fourier in 1824 calculated that the Earth-sized planet at a fixed distance from the Sun ought to be much colder. We should have had been much lower temperatures as compared to what we have, the average temperature of 15 to 20 degrees centigrade. He suggested that there is something which is insulating the Earth. In 1856, Eunice Foote discovered that what is insulating our Earth is actually a blanket of some gases, especially the carbon dioxide gas and water vapor. In 1860, physicist John Tyndall recognized that natural greenhouse affect our temperature system and suggested that slight change in the atmospheric composition could bring about climate variation. Greenhouse is a glass house actually made of glass for growing plants, for growing seedlings by botanists, by agriculturists, by floriculturists, for different research purpose in botany. We make greenhouses. Usually it used to be of glass, but now it is being made up of plastic. So it is termed as greenhouse because we sow a lot of trees and plants into them. When they become strong enough, big enough, then we sow it outside. Nowadays, these greenhouses are made up of plastics usually, and they are in much use as an industrial use of greenhouse gases are taking place nowadays. The same effect, what greenhouse does, greenhouse trap heats because it traps carbon dioxide. And the carbon dioxide and heat is somewhat beneficial for the plants. So from there, we have got this term greenhouse. We have a lot of gases in which we have 2 as a suffix, H2O, for example, water, then CO2, then NO2, then SO2, then CH4. These are all greenhouse gases, which are less than 1% of all the gases which
सर
we have.
म्यूट हो गया आपका.
I don't think, if somebody can confirm, it is muted on another
Yes,
screen.
sir. Yeah,
I should be
you need to
audible.
unmute.
I
Yes,
should be
yes, sir.
audible.
Sir, you need to unmute.
No, don't see the screen in which my
No.
video is.
It is muted. It is
Sir, sir, you
Okay.
are audible, sir.
Yes. Don't see the.
Sir, you are absolutely audible. We have no problem.
I am having two systems. From two systems, I am trying to. Okay. Now, 1896, Svante Arrhenius, he was again a mechanical engineer. In fact, he predicted that there will be global warming in future because of burning of coal in Europe. He predicted that there will be global warming because we are burning coal, which is releasing carbon dioxide, and this carbon dioxide is going to increase the temperature. And he professed this philosophy on a very happy note. Europeans wanted that their weather and climate should become warm, because the cold they are living in temperate and polar regions, it is very tough to survive. So they wanted somewhat of global warming. In fact, they have planned that if we burn all our shallow coal fields, then there will be a lot of CO2 released and we will have much warmer temperature. It is because of cold temperature, bitter cold, biting cold temperature in Europe, that the Europeans have gone out of Europe and have colonized different parts of the world, even the areas which had harshest of hot climate. You can survive in hot and harsh climate, but not in very cold climate. It is difficult to survive in cold climate. 1938 Guy calendar connected carbon dioxide increase in Earth's atmosphere to global warming. On February 2, 2007, United Nations has declared this uncertainty, and it was accepted that yes, there is a global warming. Before that, in 1978, United Nations Science Academy has said that global warming is taking place. Today it is all well established that there is global warming. You keep on reading different news related to the global warming and climate change. In my lecture, I will put a lot of slides with newspaper cuttings. I am presenting you not from any book or not from any Google or Chat GPT material. Solely, I will be discussing you on the basis of what we get in newspaper, and we are supposed to read newspaper on daily basis for many different reasons. So you will find the dates on which I have collected this cutting and the news also. Europe, heat is real, not Renoir. The painters and the artists who used to draw paintings, they used to show sunshine as part of their paintings, because in Europe they were lacking warm weather and sunshine. So they always shown the sunshine in their pictures. But today, that is not the case. Today, the shine is so much that in Europe, people are thronging to the beaches and the fountains. Extreme weather in July, virtually impossible without climate change. So the question is that, are we believing in this climate change? Do we all believe in this climate change? There are people who say that no, there is nothing like climate change. It is simply a hoax created by scientists. So the issue is that climate change, is this a news, fact, or hoax? The Earth on which we are living, this is the only living planet. There is no space other than this Earth where we can go and survive. This is the only planet where the life can survive. And the reason of survival of the life is overall maximum and minimum temperature regime of plus 65 to minus 65 degrees centigrade. Being third from the sun, we have this temperature range. Mercury and Venus have average temperature 165 to 465 degrees centigrade. Mars, which is at the fourth position after Earth, the temperature is so low that the average temperature is minus 65 degrees centigrade. So we are fortunate enough to find a planet which is third from the sun, has temperature range from minus 60 to plus 60, in which the other very essential fluid, that is water, can survive in solid, liquid, and vapor state. Plus, we have got oxygen, enough for life to breathe. And then we have nitrogen gas, which is actually acting as a what you call moderator. It is moderating the effect of oxygen. 78% is nitrogen, 21% is oxygen, 1% is left, in which we have all the gases. Out of all these gases, the carbon dioxide is only 0.04%. 0.04% is the carbon dioxide, and the global warming 0.004, sorry, 0.004, the global warming is being ascribed to increase of carbon dioxide in the atmosphere. Just see the number, the percentage, it is there, 0.004. So that means whatever carbon dioxide increase is there, it must be at the 4th, 5th, or 6th place of the decimal. And that 4th, 5th, and 6th place beyond decimal is creating problem for the life and humanity. Our Earth is made up of different geospheres, which is constituting our environment. We have different geosphere. For example, we have atmosphere, in which we have all our gases, including water vapor. We have biosphere. We are part of biosphere as a life, vegetation, animals, and human beings. Hydrosphere, all the waters which we have in solid, liquid, and vapor form, they constitute hydrosphere. Then the ground on which we are living, that is called lithosphere. Litho means rock. We are living on a sphere of rock with a little soil, very thin skin of soil. The lithosphere is almost 200 kilometers thick. Below 200 kilometers thick, we have a layer of almost 800 kilometers, which is called as asthenosphere, which is somewhat molten in state, or ductile in state, or plastic in state. And then we have baryosphere, which is almost 5,371 kilometers in radius, which includes inner core, which is solid, outer core, which is liquid, and then lower mantle, which is semi-solid. So this is the internal, this is the whole structure of our sphere. All these spheres, they are interacting with each other, and they are constituting our atmosphere, our environment. The interaction amongst these geospheres creates our environment. Now, human beings have added one more sphere. Which I am calling anthrosphere, from anthropogenic word, or you can also call it as a built sphere. We have made this sphere at the cost of atmosphere, at the cost of biosphere, at the cost of hydrosphere, at the cost of lithosphere. We have, in making this anthrosphere or built sphere, we have badly damaged the hydrosphere and atmosphere, which have very essential fluids in the form of oxygen and water. We have made these spheres as a global garbage bin, and we have badly injured our lithosphere by excavation for different mineral resources. We have not been able to do anything of asthenosphere and baryosphere, but we are affected by action between asthenosphere and lithosphere, and also the action which is going on between inner core and outer core in baryosphere. These are also actually controlling the magnetosphere and some other things which will come later on in this lecture. can we check the climate change? If climate change is there, then can we check it? The change is strongly influenced by anthropogenic activities. This has been proved. Even if there is no human component, then too global warming is there. There is a lot of talk about action to prevent climate change, but realistically, there is not likely to have much effect because we have started too late and we are doing nothing. In fact, too little is too much to say. We are actually doing nothing. We are at the brink of fall. We are trying to balance on the edge of a vertical slope along the hill that is teetering on the brink. Europe battles heat waves, fires, record temperature scorches China. Now, what actually the climate change is? Climate change is not that change which we are seeing as a weather change. Every year there is a change in the weather system. Every year there is a change in the weather system, warming, cooling, rainy season, spring season, fall season. That is the part of Earth's rotation around the sun. The climate change means change during warm period, climate change during winter period, climate change during spring period, climate change during fall period. Climate change can also be excessive precipitation. Climate change can also be change in the wind direction. Now, if you see the history of the Earth, the climate change has had taken place many times all through the Earth's history of 4,550 million years. In fact, there was a big climate change just 1,60,000 years before. From last 1,60,000 years to 20 lakh years, we have worldwide glaciation, which is called as Pleistocene glaciation, which is also called as Him-Yug. We have just come out of a Him-Yug. The Earth was a snowball just 1,60,000 years before up to 20 lakh years. Similar kind of climate change have taken place umpteen times, but all those changes have taken place at the scale of few million years, 1 to 5 million years. But the climate change which we are talking about, it is a change in last 200 to 250 years. And to prove this, we have direct record of temperature measurement using thermometers of last 150 years. And we also have indirect record of almost 10,000 years. Almost 10,000 years record is available from indirect methods, from proxy methods, not just by having thermometer, because thermometer was invented some 200 years ago. Before that, what was the temperature system? You cannot predict because there was no thermometer. We have some indirect indicators which have helped us to know the past temperature. Now, if you have glued to your TV screens, if you have been through the newspapers, this is the news which I have downloaded yesterday. Lot of rain is happening in South India from last 1 week. And this is unprecedented. Never this has happened. Meteorologists, they are calling that this is a winter monsoon, but winter monsoon never came from south. It has always came from northwest. It used to come from northwest and move towards southeast, just opposite the monsoon which we have from southeast to northwest. But the meteorologists have declared that monsoon has gone, but actually monsoon has not gone. We are going to face a cyclone Dana. Perhaps today there will maybe landfall, or tomorrow there may be landfall. Rain havoc leads to waterlogging in Bangalore yesterday. From last 1 week, South India is reeling under rain, and when the rain was expected during the real monsoon, there was no rain. So this is what the climate change is. World over, different people have observed the effect of excessive temperature. Roger Federer, when he lost match to John Millman, he said that I have lost because of very hot weather in the arena. He blamed the warming, excessive warming, which he was not expecting at that place in that time. In Australia, people have made omelette in the sunshine. The temperatures were more than 40 degrees centigrade, 49 degrees centigrade. If you can see, it is 49 degrees centigrade. And in this 49 degrees centigrade, people have made omelette. This year in India too, temperature has touched 46, 47 degrees, which is again unprecedented. In 2019, there was very high temperatures in Australia, that is almost 47.7 degree to 49.5 degree, and people have thronged to beaches. And at the same time, in United States of America, the temperature was minus 40 degrees centigrade. And if you can see the picture, the temperature was so low that the jeans pants were frozen and they were standing without men or women inside it. Pants freeze in St. Anthony Village, Minnesota. So at the same time, on the globe, we have what you call extreme high temperature and extreme cold temperature. The issue is that is this climate change is natural or anthropogenic? There is a lot of discussion and controversies on climate change, especially the global warming. Scientists, their work is to propose a philosophy or a theory, then work on that. They may be able to prove it, they may be able to refute it, they may be renew their findings as with time scientific knowledge and scientific inquiry progresses. But as of today, 90% of the scientists, they have common issue of global warming. Problem which they are trying to resolve is that how much is the warming because of natural causes and because of anthropogenic causes, that is greenhouse gases. Satellites are nowadays being used to monitor temperature directly, independently, every hour, all through the globes. And we have very good database for temperature measurement over the sea, over the land, different parts of the world, every 14 days, daily basis, depending upon the satellites which we are using. The indirect evidences have been also collected to show that there has been a global warming or not. If you can see this screen, in this screen, 3 major events of global warming have been identified: 1860 to 1880, 1910 to 1940, 1975 to 2005. Very sharp increase in average temperatures. You can see a lot of ups and downs, but if you take out the average, the lines are drawn, which tells you about the different events of global warming. There was one event of global warming I have shown with the green line just now from 1890 to 1900. For some 10 years, there was a global cooling also. And then there was a time from 1940 to 1970 when the rise in the temperature was very slow. The rise was very slow. This is the latest from 1950 to 2017. You can see how the temperature is going up. If you draw a scale, if you draw a line, you will find a line almost at 35 degree. But the global temperature is rising at much more faster rate. And if you see this picture, both pictures are same. In this picture, the line will have almost 40 degree, 45 degree, means sharper increase. Both the pictures are same. Just in the first picture, I have stretched the picture off from the sides. So I have been able to lower down the average increase of temperature. And here I have put the figure in its perfect way. So this is the real temperature rise. What can be the natural causes if we are blaming our own community, our own ilk for global warming? Let's see that what natural factors can also cause global warming or global cooling. Whatever heat which we are having, we are receiving it from the sun, though the earth also has its own heat, which is released from the earth on daily basis, but that heat is so low that we cannot even feel it. You can feel this heat only in the glaciated region, where the heat is coming at the rate of 10 to 20 milliwatt per meter square per second. But our heat system is actually governed by sun's heat, which come as a light. We call it solar insolation. It comes as a short wave radiation. When it hits the ground and then goes back, it comes as a long wave radiation. When it hits the ground, different parts of the ground, it is converted to short wave radiation. And the short wave radiation cannot penetrate the envelope of greenhouse gases which we have, and that results into our average temperature of 15 to 20 degrees centigrade, which is rising at the rate of 1.5 to 2 degrees centigrade, which has risen up to 1.5 to 2 degrees centigrade. If we remove all the natural greenhouse gases in our atmosphere, the temperature will go down to minus 18 degrees centigrade, and it will be very difficult for humanity to live at that temperature of minus 18 degrees centigrade. So greenhouse gases are actually essential gases. They have come in our atmosphere through degassing of our asthenosphere and bariosphere through the process of volcanism. All the gases which we have in our atmosphere, they have been released through the process of volcanism, and they have been held back by our force of gravity, Earth's force of gravity. If the Earth's force of gravity is reduced, then some of the gases will go out of our atmosphere, which has happened with the other planets. The Venus has in its atmosphere 97% carbon dioxide, and that is the reason that they have average temperature of 485 degrees centigrade. That means carbon dioxide is the most important gas as far as heat trapment is concerned. In this picture, I am showing you how the sunlight comes, how much it is scattered from the atmosphere itself, how much it comes onto the surface, then it goes back, and then it is absorbed by the greenhouse gases, which is termed here as heat blanket. which is somewhere in between lower atmosphere and upper atmosphere, having CO2, N2O, H2O, and CH4. Our overall temperature, average temperature at any latitude, will depend upon the Earth's axis of rotation. The Earth is rotating. Because of that, we are getting day and night. And this rotation on its axis is at an angle of 21 to 22 degree. If we change the axis of rotation, if the inclinity of, or if the inclination is changed, then the overall heat fall on this different latitude will also change. But this is not possible. This has not happened in last 1 lakh years, and the 200 years for which we are worried is too short to have a change. But still, there are scientists who say that our axis has been changed from 22.1 to 21.5 degree because of the tsunami which was created in 2004 Indonesian earthquake and 2011 Japan earthquake. These two earthquakes have resulted into churning of oceans, and the ocean, which is almost 74% of our all land mass, has a very strong effect on the Earth's rotation, and perhaps there may be some change in the tilt, and because of that, there may also be some change in the average temperature of different places. Another issue is solar activity. Sometimes we have solar hot spot activity, which take place every 10 or 11 years. But in recent 5 to 7 years, we have seen lot of solar activity, which results into generation of solar flares and solar storms, which not only increases the heat generation at the sun spot, which is ultimately coming to the earth and increasing the overall temperatures. It also results into damaging of our magnetosphere, and which results into loss of telecommunication system. So this solar spot activity, if you are able to see in a dynamic mode, this can also from time to time may increase the temperature. I am showing you a picture of 2017, and this is the picture 2022. This year also in 2023, the solar spot activity has taken place. Greenhouse gas, which we have in our atmosphere, they have been produced by volcanism. Volcanism is still going on. There are many places in the world, Reykjavik Island, in United States of America, Hawaii, in Italy, in Indonesia. There are a lot of countries where volcanism is still happening, and they must also be increasing to greenhouse gases. Because from volcanism, you will get sulfur dioxide, you will get the nitrous oxide, and you can also get sometimes carbon dioxide. So we have natural input of greenhouse gases in our Earth. But with time, the contribution from Earth's interior to the greenhouse gases have reduced because the volcanism, average volcanic events have become less and less with time. The reason is that the Earth is losing its heat. Earth does not have that much of heat which it used to have 50, 60 million years back. So Earth is aging. So the release of greenhouse gases is also diminishing. There is a contribution, but not as much as we expect. Much more we are contributing through our industries and factories. The carbon dioxide gas, whatever released from volcanoes or from anthropogenic activity, is supposed to be dissolved in the seawater and is supposed to get converted into carbonate, CO3, and by combining with calcium, it may become calcium carbonate and may become part of body of sea animals, or it may precipitate as a limestone. But with time, due to high increase in carbon dioxide and continuous absorption of CO2 in the oceans, the salinity and acidity of the ocean has increased, and it is not being able to absorb as much carbon dioxide as it is used to or it is supposed to. So with lesser and lesser carbon dioxide absorption by the sea, we are left with more carbon dioxide in the atmosphere. More carbon dioxide in the atmosphere means more temperature on our Earth surface. Why we are fearing global warming? One of the reasons is melting of the ice. It is thought that if all the ice melts from the polar regions and from the mountains, all coastal areas will be under 9 meters of water. So the main cause of global warming is the sea level rise, and the sea level rise resulting into drowning of those islands or those coastal areas which are barely 1, 2 or 3 meters above the mean sea level. Now, there is one more issue. It is not only the melting of the glacier which is going to increase the okay. So it is not only the melting of the ice, but even the warming of the seawater will increase the sea level. When we warm water in any utensil over the gas or over any fire, the volume of water increases. So even if there is no melting of ice, the global sea level will rise because of increase in carbon dioxide. Another reason of change in the global average temperature can be this phenomenon. Can anybody tell me this phenomenon? What is this phenomenon? Can anybody tell me what is this phenomenon going on? क्या कोई मुझे बता सकता है ये कौन सा प्रोसेस हो रहा है? Is somebody listening or not? Can anybody tell me what is happening here? Shri Avint Patil, your mic is on. Can you tell me what is this?
Global warming, sir.
No. What you can see here? You can see a continent getting broken and then moving. Anybody else?
So distance between the continents are increasing
Yes,
because
that
of
is
rotation. That means
what this
somehow the
phenomenon is.
plate are
What this phenomenon is. You see, this is a phenomenon called as continental drift. There was a theory given in 1905, continental drift theory by Alfred Wegener from Germany, that some continents they were together, then they have got broken and moved away. His theory was rejected in 1915. He died in 1915, then his theory was rejected. But later on in 1960s, after Second World War, when scientists went into the sea and have found out different features under the sea and on the land also, then a new theory has come up which is called as the theory of plate tectonics. The theory of plate tectonics. Please try to read this theory from the net. The theory of plate tectonics. This is actually the operating system of the earth everything what is happening on the earth geologically is explained by this theory of the theory of plate tectonics, in which it has been said that earth is divided into 13 plates as of today, and all plates are moving at the rate of 10 to 15 to 20 centimeter per year. So if these plates which are having continents over them, having countries over them, if they move from one place to another place, the overall temperature regime will change with time. Though the rate of movement is very slow, that is only 10 to 15 centimeter per year. In some cases, it is only 5 centimeter per year. But if you give it 100 years, that means you are 500 centimeter means half meter. If you give 200 years, means 1 meter. If you give it 400 years, you means it is 4 meter. All plates now are moving with different rates, which has been calculated using the satellites and GPS. And this is the reason that we cannot have unmanned navigation or unmanned driving of car or driverless car. Because the latitude and longitudes which have been drawn some 1,000 years ago, they have all got wrong because of movement of different continents at the rate of 5 to 10 centimeter per year. Our latitude and longitudes, they are all incorrect by 2 to 3 meters. The Australia has started redrawing its latitudes and longitudes. What is the rate of movement of these plates? 5 to 10 centimeter per year is the rate with which our nails are growing. You don't see your nails growing every day. But if you see your nails after a week, you will find that your nails have grown by 2 millimeters. I have proved this by putting voter ID ink on my nails and then seeing that how my nails are growing and how this ink is passing from bottom to top of my nail. So this is with the speed, all continents are moving. So if all continents are moving, their temperature regime will also change, their weather system will also change, their climate system will also change. So these are the direct natural causes which can have effect on the temperatures. Now, if you see the indirect data, indirect record, the people who are working on global warming, they have collected data from diaries of captains of ships, of farmers, of different newspapers. In fact, they have collected temperature data of Paris from 1770 to 1879. So this is indirect evidence of temperature change with time. The indirect evidence of global warming came from these huge rock blocks which are found in different parts of the world, which have no matching rock surrounding it. The rock which you are seeing colored white does not have matching rock in 30 to 40 kilometers from this place. Then how come this rock has come here? Such rocks are called as erratics. The erratic word has come from error. Means a rock is present where there is no similar rock found. How it has come? It has been brought here by glacier which used to move up to this place in past. Perhaps 1 lakh years, perhaps 1,50,000 years, perhaps 5 lakh years, perhaps 10 lakhs years before. But now they have moved back because of warming. And they have left the rocks which they have brought in from 30, 40 kilometers. So the glacial length and thickness and their presence is a very important indicator of global warming. If you can see the left side picture, there is a ice over the top of the hill, and the photographs taken in the same month at the same time, and it shows that from 1912 to 1970, then to 2000, then to 2006, the overall ice has reduced, and in fact reduced drastically. Right side picture is again an erratic, which I have photographed myself. The rock which is present is called as chert, and the rocks which are present in the background is another rock called slate. This rock is not present some 22 kilometers from this place. How this have come? Again, this shows that glaciers must have come up to this place. The ice cores were taken out from different continents, from Antarctica, from Greenland, from Northern Hemisphere, from Alaska. They have collected almost 20 kilometers of ice cores from different parts of the world, out of which the deepest is 3.6 kilometer deep ice core from Antarctica. And in these gases, they have been able to find the bubbles which used to have the gases of that time when this bubble was formed. They have dated the ice, and they have analyzed the chemistry of the gases present in the bubble, and they have been able to reconstruct the past or paleo composition of our atmosphere for last 4,20,000 years. 4,20,000 years. In fact, some data up to 8,50,000 years is also available. And from this data also, it is suggested that overall global warming is there and the temperature is rising. Up to 1850, the temperature was almost at one level. Then from 1850, it has started increasing, and there was a very sharp increase from 1900 to 1940. Then there was a drop from 1940 to 1960, and then from 1960, it is again increasing. Similarly, people have studied the hangings in the caves called as stalactite and stalagmite. These are formed due to the precipitation of calcium carbonate from drop of water which is squeezing out of the rocks, and that water gets evaporated, leaving the calcium carbonate. This results into formation of stalactites hanging from the roof of the caves and stalagmites which is moving from the floor towards the roof. That is called as stalagmites. The scientists have studied carbon, hydrogen, and oxygen isotopes, and they have shown that overall temperature is rising at different time intervals, if you can see. And from 1900 to 1950, here too there is a sharp rise, which is corroborating what we have got the result from the glaciers. Apart from this, scientists have studied the carbon, hydrogen, and oxygen isotopes of different tree rings, which form annually. One dark and one light ring represent 1 year. You can calculate the age of this tree by calculating all the rings and then divide it by 2. The dark ring is a winter ring, the light ring is a summer ring. Scientists have taken samples from each rings and they have worked out the overall temperature at which different isotopes are mobilized, and they have found that temperature is rising from 1850 onward, and there was 1800 to 1825 there was a temperature drop also. Similarly, the heat of the sun slightly goes into the earth and react with some trace and rare earth elements found over the minerals, and these results into causing thermoluminescence. If we study the thermoluminescence of different minerals inside the ground, what we find that the temperature is on rising trend from 1500 to 1850 at somewhat slower rate, but from 1850 to 2000 and beyond at a very fast rate. So what is happening actually? The heat which is coming onto the earth from the sun is almost 200 240 watt per square meter. If this 240 watt square meter goes back, there will be no global warming. But what is happening that 240 is coming, only 175 is going back. That means we are holding back almost 65 watt per square meter of heat. And that's why overall temperature is going away from 0 degree, that is average of 1980 perhaps. From there we are going above up to 1 degree centigrade. So this is the whole issue. And if we see the percentage of CH4 and CO2, which is also increasing and decreasing with time of last 800 years. But if you see the last 50 years, the rise is almost vertical. The rise is almost vertical of CH4 as well as carbon dioxide. Carbon dioxide, which used to be 280 per part million, now has increased to 550 per part million. That means almost double. We are putting CO2 in our atmosphere almost from 26 to 50 billion tons per year. And that is the main reason of global warming. Not only CO2, which is the major gas which is causing global warming, we also have CH4, we also have nitrous oxide, we also have SO2, and because of global warming, average temperature is increasing, so we have more evaporation, so we have more H2O in a vapor phase in our atmosphere, which is also a greenhouse gas. Different countries have different amount of release of greenhouse gases. Some of the important countries are listed. China and India is being ascribed as the most releasing CO2 countries as compared to other countries. As far as today's release of carbon dioxide is concerned, but in the past it was other countries, European nations and America, which released a lot of carbon dioxide. So ultimately, if we see that what has happened from 1998 average data to present, the temperature was in fact going below the average up to 1850. You can see the slanted broken line towards downward. Then from 1850, it is increasing just like a hockey stick. A famous paper was written by McKittrick from Canada, which paper is known as hockey stick paper. So it is not the natural process which is warming our earth, rather it is humanity which is by putting lot of greenhouse gases, especially carbon dioxide, which is causing the global warming. ये सूरज की साजिश नहीं है, खुद जमी सेक रहे हैं हम. We cannot blame the sun. It is our own handiwork which is resulting into the global warming. So the final picture which you are going to have as far as global warming is concerned is this picture. You can see from 210 to 223, the line is almost vertical. It is more close to hockey stick now as compared to what we had in the previous slide. Now, why we fear climate? Why we should fear climate? There are some obvious reasons and there are some less obvious reasons. Less obvious reasons, they are equally dangerous, but they are slow to observe, slow to see. But obvious reasons you can see very quickly, that is global warming resulting into melting of ice. We have more runoff of sweet and potable water into the sea. We are losing sweet potable water very quickly. We have increased desertification. We have more humidity. We have severe weather conditions. hurting us from time to time. Then we have sea level rise. The only silver lining is increase in agriculture produce. The agriculture produce can increase because of greenhouse gas effect, which we do artificially by making glass houses or plastic houses. The less obvious reasons to worry is to regional migrations, diseases which are coming up, new diseases and lethal diseases, change in the ocean current system, which will which controls our weather system, resulting into La Nina or El Nino issues, change in the agriculture pattern, crop failure, animal migration, ecological imbalances, and crop losses due to extreme weather. When we were waiting for the rain, there was no rain. We have irrigated our field, we have grown the rice, and when it was about to be harvested, rain has come. It has made all the field to the ground, and we have lost whatever we have grown. So whatever we have produced excess due to greenhouse gases, we are losing it due to the extreme weather condition and crop loss. Lot of issues. Everybody is going to be affected. Maybe people in Ladakh, maybe people in Odisha. The climate history wants us to limit our warming to 2 degrees centigrade. Humans may not be able to adopt beyond that. We can adopt up to 2 degrees centigrade, but not beyond that. Lot of cyclones, lot of tornadoes, lot of heat waves, lot of cold waves, they keep on coming, and you see them in your newspaper and on your social media or television. All over the world and in our own country, thodi barish, badi musibat. A little rain creates lot of havoc. Even those places which are desert places who wait for the rain very eagerly, rains come in a very small amount, but sometimes extreme weather conditions develop and you have so much of water that you are not able to manage, even if you are a very rich country, and even if you are a very well developed, have very well developed sewer system, very well developed municipal system, but ultimately you lose in front of weather. Biblical flooding in Dubai. What do we mean by biblical flooding? What do we mean by biblical flooding? What is biblical flooding? A flood which took place at the time of Prophet Noah. It is known as Noah's Ark and Noah's Tufan-e-Nuh. Similar kind of cyclones, similar kind of water logging, similar kind of wave surge is taking place all over the world. May it be United States of America a few days ago when the cyclone Hilton has hit the the southeast part of the America. Even countries like America, they reel under such kind of extreme weather condition. एक नूह ही नहीं जो हमें कश्ती में बिठा ले, वरना आसार तो मौजूद हैं तूफान के सारे. Even there is no Nuh nowadays who can ask us to sit in his boat in the storm which we have nowadays, much bigger than what perhaps Prophet Noah have. Not only it is the extreme rain condition, it is extreme heat condition which is resulting into lot of forest fire. In Uttarakhand this year we have forest fire which has raged up to very long duration. Lot of forest cover we have lost, and we have released lot of carbon dioxide into our atmosphere. We didn't had any mechanism to douse these fire. Ultimately, we were praying for the rain to come and douse this fire. At the same time, when in Uttarakhand the rain was playing havoc, at the same time, 2 hour torrential rains in Telangana claimed 20 lives. So you see, one part of our country is reeling under forest fire, and other part is under flood. Now, to check all these issues, what is being transpired, we had lot of international conferences since 1972. We have every year scientists and head of the states and ministers, they are coming together discussing climate change, but they are not coming up with any solution. So we had lot of international conferences, conferences of parties, that is COPs. We have COP27 in Egypt in 2022. Then we have COP in 2023 in Dubai. Then we are going to have next COP perhaps in what you call Brazil. So we are having this year's in Baku, Azerbaijan. We are discussing and discussing, but till now no solution has yet come. The reason is that the solution is directly going to hit the economy. Nowadays, the world is being controlled by economy and economists rather than science and scientists, which used to control the world some 10 years before. So this is the biggest issue. Nobody wants to cut the carbon dioxide emission. So the ultimate result is global warming. The global warming is almost touching the 2%. The scientists are trying to control it below 1.5% because only in this 1.5 and 2% half degree difference is going to have very strong effect on extinction of plant and animal life, extinction of corals, sea level rise, crop losses, as well as amount of ice which will be left just in case of 1.5 versus 2 degrees centigrade, extreme heat conditions, water scarcity. All these are going to be very severe and dangerous if the temperature could not be stopped below 2 degree. The global warming cannot be stopped overnight. It will take time, and it will take perhaps hundreds of years, or if not hundred of years, at least 50 years. But we don't see any sight. We are facing calamities every year. We are warned every year, but no solution has come up. Now I am coming to the second part, that is the pollution part. What is the bigger issue? Human-induced climatic disorders, which is resulting into climate change, or human-induced environmental disorders by polluting atmosphere, by polluting water, by polluting land. All over the world, 100 people are dying every half an hour because of environmental disorders, which results into different kinds of diseases. Lot of new diseases have come up in last 20 years, named as Zika, Ebola, dengue, cancer, flu, diabetes, corona, etc. And monkeypox, you can add monkeypox also. We have polluted all our drinking water and atmosphere. In India, in 2021, 464 students, kids below 5 years have died every day. In 2021, 1,69,400 kids have died just because of pollution. Air pollution. We breathe it. Whatever we are giving to atmosphere by polluting it, we are breathing it. It gives you back immediately. 7 years ago, everyone saw Delhi's air take deadly U-turn, but no one did a thing. When Delhi switched from diesel and petrol to CNG, the pollution level have dropped by 2007. And after 2007, it has started again increasing. So 7 years from 2007 to this news item in 2015. But now I am putting it 17 years or year ago, everyone saw Delhi's air take a deadly U-turn, but no one did a thing. That the pollution has started rising from 2007. From 2007. Which is resulting into a lot of diseases. One of the disease for which India is known as capital of diabetes, capital of diabetes, because every third person is diabetic in India. Out of 10 selling drugs in India, in 2016, 5 were of diabetes. If we get the data for 2024, perhaps all the 10 medicines may be of diabetes. So there is a many-fold increase in the sale of diabetic medicine, which is directly reflecting that India is becoming diabetic capital of the world. Only in the COVID times, the medicines which are used for treating viral, they overpass the diabetic needs. But again, this year in 23 April, the diabetic medicines, they have taken their position back. What could be the reason? The reason are ascribed to sedentary life. The reason is ascribed to rich food. The is ascribed to low physical activity. But no, all these are not the cause. The real cause is pollution in the air, which we take and it becomes part of our blood, and that results into change in our metabolic activity and causing diabetes, not only diabetes, high blood pressure and other issues also. Now government has to show that it is doing something for checking pollution control. They come up with some data. For example, in the month of September 24, they have come up with data that 21 cities achieved target of 40% PM10 cut 2 years before deadline. But just yesterday or day before yesterday, there was a news that we have surpassed all the limits which were there in the past, and we have increased pollution like anything. The Delhi on last Saturday was highly polluted, and the people living in Delhi, they are highly worried. Let Delhi breathe. Why only Delhi should breathe? Why not people surrounding the Delhi should breathe? Why not people in other states should breathe? Why only Delhi? Pollution is everywhere. Nobody can stop pollution. Pollution will move. If it is Delhi, from Delhi it will move. If it is in Aligarh, it will move from Aligarh to Delhi. So pollution check has to be made everywhere. Pollution control has to be done by everywhere. We are dying by breathing. We are dying by breathing. That is death by breath. Death by breath. We are dying by breathing, and we cannot live without breathing. If you don't breathe, if you can't breathe, then you oxygen, you cannot live. So ultimately, people will die in sudden deaths because of pollution, as sometimes people die in Ladakh because of very less oxygen. The people who are new to that place, sometimes they immediately die because of not able to get the oxygen. So that is the issue which we have to think. We are putting lot of stresses to our environment, and these stresses are causing lot of strains due to population growth, due to waste generation, due to indiscriminate resource exploitation, because of energy demand and carbon footprint, and because of infrastructure development at a very fast rate. We are trying to clean through Swachh Bharat Abhiyan. This is trying to clean our surroundings, but it has failed miserably despite putting 60,000 crore per year, because still it is a government program. It has not taken roots in the psyche of mind of common people. Government is doing a lot, is trying to do a lot, it's doing everything, but it has not been able to make this issue as a part of psyche of our daily life. We are happy in keeping our houses clean, but we are equally happy in making our outside dirty by putting garbage here and there, that too without separating into biodegradable and non-biodegradable. There is the issue of open defecation in India, which is much higher than very poor and small countries. This results into malnutrition and and this results into a lot of diseases. Government of India again has tried to provide better sanitation by giving money for making toilets, but all this has gone waste. People have made toilet, but they don't have water to flush. So ultimately, the scheme is actually failed. Lot of corruption has crept in, and the final result perhaps is not there. This is something very important. Government is trying to put money into this issue, but our local populace, general populace, is not able to take it as seriously as government wants. We need this as much as food. Waste disposal has become a big issue. We are creating mountains and hills of waste all over the country. We are having more than 500 landfill sites just like this, which needs to be closed down because they cannot take much more waste. They have already surpassed the limit for which they were made. But we are not able to find new spaces for waste disposal site, and our waste is increasing in thousands of percentage. The Delhi in 2000 had 400 metric ton of waste, and in 2015 it has 8,700 metric ton of waste. That means 2075% of rise in the waste generation. Same is the case with Bengaluru, 1,750. Rest of the countries have increased only 100% or 155%. That is can be tolerated because with the increase in population, the waste generation will also increase. But why in Delhi and Bangalore we have percentage of waste generation increase in thousands percent, 2,075%? Perhaps this is something to do with the lifestyle, because if you see the Calcutta has waste generation increase only by 8.3%. That means they are less generating waste as compared to any other city. Waste is a very big problem. To keep Delhi clean, you have to keep Selampur dirty. To keep Delhi, Ghaziabad clean, we are making Meerut dirty because we are taking waste from these places and putting there. So are we a filthy nation? Or we are not concerned with the cleaning? Cleaning does not mean your house cleaning. Cleaning means clean everywhere. Cleaning everywhere. Are we a filthy nation? That is the big issue. India today in 1993 came up with a cover story, can we clean the mess? Then again it has to come in 2014 with another cover page story, dirty nation. That means in last 17 years we have not been able to clean up our society or our city. Taj Mahal, the wonder of the world, and see in the foreground the littered ground like anything. So it is very easy to throw the garbage out of your house. We have to think that what actually happening with the garbage which we are throwing out. Garbage is a collector's item. It should not be thrown out. Hawa mein zahar ke naye paimane. We every year we have new scales to measure air quality index. Today again there is a news on by the same author. We are just changing the scale, but we are not doing anything. We are burning agriculture waste and creating pollution in Punjab and Haryana. But more than Punjab and Haryana people and West UP people, it is the Delhi people who are crying. Just think that those who are creating this pollution, they must also be breathing the same air. So it is not the issue of only farmers of these states. Everybody is responsible. Everybody is responsible. Sardarji in Punjab is trying to cover his children just to ward off them from the pollution. So this is the biggest issue. मौसम बदल रहा है. अब हवा में नए और ताजा प्रदूषण की गंध है. Every year we have new pollution and new smell. To check this, we have started using smoke towers. We are using air purifiers in our houses, but that is not the solution. This cannot solve the problem. First create doom and then make boom. We are trying to make money out of the problem of pollution. So a lot of cities have come up with the smoke towers, but all have failed. They cannot clean the air. They can clean air very temporarily at a very localized station. The problem of plastic or polythene is another big problem. The problem of materialistic society is another big problem. Dennis the Minas is asking her mother that you need more feet, not more shoes. Previously, we used to have only one pair or two pair of shoes or sandals. Today, we have tens of them. We have polluted our water, which we directly drink. If we pollute our water, if we pollute our air, then the survival will be very, very difficult. All the waters which we are drinking, they have some kind of pollution. That's why we have started having ROs, and ROs are being used to clean the water. It cleans 1 liter water by wasting 3 liters of water. That is another big issue. We don't have that much of fresh water on our earth. Only 2.5% of all the water is available as a sweet or fresh water. Out of this 2.5% of water, 68.6% is locked with the ice. Only 30.1 is with the groundwater which we are using. Nowadays, we cannot use lake water or atmospheric water or river water because they are all polluted. So we are very heavily using the groundwater. And that groundwater also, because we are taking it from much deeper depths, it is having higher residence time, higher dissolved content. So we have high TDS, and we are trying to reduce that TDS by using ROs and water purifying machines. It is very easy to get a water bottle if you have money, but always think that when you are using this bottle has wasted 3 times the amount it is having in this bottle. Our prophet has said that don't waste water even if you were at a running stream. If we are along a river, then too we are not supposed to waste water. But we are wasting water like anything in different ways, by washing, by flushing, by irrigation and whatnot. We are changing the water into dirty or grey water, and then what is happening to that grey water, we are not bothering. In our university, we have water purifying plant. You can see that we have purified the water, and this plant is running without any energy consumption. I used to collect all the drain water which is going out in buckets, and I use it for irrigating plants. I use it for drinking, not for bathing, for washing of clothes. So this water which is coming out of RO as a drain water does not a bad water. It can be used in many ways. So please try to use this water wherever you are and wherever you can. Who will solve this problem? How can this problem be solved? Can this problem be solved at a local level? Can it be solved at society level, at district level, at a state level, a country level, or it is a global problem? We don't have much time to check this issue. What we can do, we are in fashion of observing different days for sustainability, for environment, for population, for disaster reduction, for food day, for fisheries, for conservation. these individual days are not going to help. We have to observe each of these 365 days a year. Then we are going to put some what you call ointment onto this our injured earth. Lot of people in individual capacity are doing. They are lone voices from different parts of the world. Greta Thunberg from Sweden. Lot of students, they used to go on strike on every Friday to impress upon their governments that do something to check the climate change, because the future climate is the future of children of today, what you are going to leave for tomorrow's children. Lot of people are doing it in different ways, sometimes very astonishing ways, which you can see in this paper cutting. I am running out of time. I will take some 5-6 minutes more of you so that I can complete it. David Buckle was a senator in the United States Parliament. He died by burning himself by putting petrol over himself. He put petrol over himself and lit the matchstick, and he died by burning. He was saying that the whole world will burn by using the oil and petrol for our vehicles. In the same way as I am burning to death. So lot of people are trying to do lot of things. One of the IIT professor has made a pledge that he is not going to wear ironed clothes for some 5 years or so. RBI has made a corporation to counter the issue of climate change. Lot of things are happening, but at very individual capacity. Solar panels have come in a big way so that we can shift from coal-based electricity generation, which releases lot of carbon dioxide, to a mechanism in which less carbon dioxide footprint is there. So we have lot of solar panels. This is India's biggest solar panel in our university. In any university, this is the biggest solar panel, ground mounted. Another thing which we have forgotten is driving cycle. All of us are using scooter, motorcycle and cars. But if you use cycle, you will be helping your environment. In Copenhagen, Danish capital, the population is 6 lakh and they have 6,50,000 cycles. Anybody can take any cycle and can go anywhere. There is no need of owning any cycle. But what has happened in India, we have a graveyard of cycle in Saharanpur, where more than 5 lakh cycles are rotting. These cycles were left by the laborers who came by cycle from Punjab and Haryana to Saharanpur during the COVID-19 times. They left their cycle, and from there government has arranged for trains to their different districts, and they went out and they never came back to these cycles. And now these cycles, which used to help our environment, now they are actually causing problem to the environment. So we have lot of issues. What could be the best way to help our environment? That is the issue. How can we help our environment? The best way is protecting plants and sowing plants more and more. But the problem is how to irrigate them. Because if you sow more trees and more plants, you need more water. So we have to have a very judicious use of water. The water which is coming out of your drain should be collected and should be used for irrigation. This year IPL, if you see the 2 green dots, this means that no run was scored on these 2 balls. This is dot balls. The IPL has pledged that on every dot ball, they will plant 500 trees. So for example, the bowler has put 2 dot balls. So 1,000 trees will be planted. I don't know when and where, but if a bowler bowls a maiden over, he is going to help the environment a lot. So our responsibility is to increase the number of trees, reduce carbon emissions, reduce concrete jungles, which perhaps it cannot with increasing population, increase number of lakes, increase number of lakes. So this is all our responsibility, because even at a local scale, whatever we are doing, at a local scale, whatever we are doing, it has a global effect. Local laparwahi, global warming is the problem. This year, for the very first time in my life history, the crossroads, the traffic light, places where we had traffic lights, our municipal corporation has put a green sheet so that people do not feel the direct sunshine. So this is the direct indication of what? Global warming. Average temperature has increased. So all crossroads, they have this kind of shade provided by our municipal corporation. There is no life on other planets because their scientists were more advanced. A very important statement given by Sarpalli Radhakrishnan, on whose birthday we are celebrating the Teachers' Day in India. He has said, I will take only 5 slides more and then I will finish. The human being is nothing more than the latest of a long series of living creatures. Even if evolution of life does not proceed higher than the human species, science and technology threatens us with the possibility of extinction. I will replace the science with economics. I will replace the science with economics. It is now economics which is even driving the science. So this is the issue. People have started writing book that how to survive in the times of global warming, which is imminent and which is bound to come. How do you explain your bad behavior? Climate change. The climate change is affecting everybody. And it is being used for positive as well as negative, both issues. Now, there are some scientists who are working on mega projects that how to cool. If you cannot stop the global warming, then let's have some mechanism developed so that in a case of emergency, we can do something to cool the planet. How to cool the planet? There are a lot of methods have come up which are trying to tell that how to cool the planet. That is called as geoengineering. By putting silver iodide crystals in the upper atmosphere, by putting diamond dust into the upper atmosphere, by putting mirror into the upper atmosphere, by putting what you call painting all the rocks white in color. All these are different geoengineering issues which scientists are trying to work upon, but no consensus have been made. Now I would like to show you this slide, and I would like to ask you from this that what you see, this is hospital, Fortis Hospital, where there is a painting. What this painting wants to say? Can anybody tell me what this painting wants to say? Anyone? Anyone if can tell me that what this painting wants to say? I think everybody is sleeping. 26 people are left. Few have joined just now.
No, sir.
We are behaving like our students. What is this painting wants to say? Anybody, please? They are trying to say that plant more trees, which is good for your lungs, for your breathing.
सर लंग्स को शो कर रहा है.
Yes, but at the
Sir,
same
now-
time, they have put plastic plants in their inside premises. So you see, this is the nature of humanity. The nature of paradox. On one side, we are painting that grow trees, and on the other side, we are putting plastic plants. Are not we are cheating ourselves? And that is the Fortis Escort Hospital. So this is what is happening. Why we will not be able to check the climate change? Because we will never be serious. We will never be serious. Lot of us keep plastic plants and decorative plastic trees in our houses. They are of no use. They are not better than a wild grass, one blade of grass, which may be growing in crevasses at your houses. That one blade of grass is giving you oxygen. These plastic plants don't give you a damn. We are, on the name of keeping our city clean and green, we are putting a lot of paintings. And if you can see the pot in which plants were planted, they are all going dry. A smart city. This is the boundary wall of Commissioner of Aligarh Smart City. And what it is written, green Aligarh, clean Aligarh. And he has dabbed his wall with plastic grass. See, this is the government officials. They have put the plastic grass and plastic trees, and then they are putting slogan green Aligarh and clean Aligarh. Thus, only green color is sufficient for checking our trees and plants. We are putting plants and then we are cutting. We are putting them and we are cutting them. And in this process, they are dying. So these are the different issues which we have to see. If you allow nature, nature will bounce back. These are the pictures of COVID times when the man-made footpaths were taken over by the trees and plants. In the top left side picture, all the leaves are torn. All the leaves were snatched by passers-by, if you can see, and they are all torn. But when there was a lockdown, the same tree got a very pristine and clean leaves. So it is human beings which are actually putting harm to our own Mother Earth. It is important to keep in mind that the moon has no natural defense mechanism or ways to restore itself. But Earth does have. But if we allow them to do so, we are actually, I don't have time, we are actually using the Earth resources much more than what an Earth can supply to us. This is called as Earth overshoot day. Whatever we can get resource for 1 year, in 1970, we spent it into 362 days. 3 days were remaining. Yani for 3 days, we had to take overdraft for the next year's budget of the Earth system. That Earth shoot day from 1970 to 2024 has come to 1st August. Means whatever resource we have, we are exhausting them in 242nd day of the year, and 123 days are remaining. So for this 123 days, from where you will get the resources? We will overeat. We will overeat out. We will eat out the earth, which was resources which was supposed to be for the next year. So this is the problem which we are happening. If we pollute the air, water and soil that keep us alive and well, and destroy the biodiversity that allows natural system to function, no amount of money will save us.
Sorry.
No amount of money will save us. The last 2 slides. Earth, no deposit, no return. Think the world owes you a living. We are already overpaid by the earth. This is the last slide. On the left side, you can see the founder of our university, Sir Syed Ahmad Khan, who died in 1897, born in 1817, established this big university. He was fond of nature in his days, and he was lampooned by the cartoonists of his time by calling them as naturey jogi. If you can see, he is playing with the snakes. He has lot of cactus trees behind him. He was lampooned in 1881 cartoon as naturey jogi. But he had a vision. The things for which we are now crying, he has thought for it way before, well before us. Thank you. If you have any query, if you have any question, you can ask. Thank you. You can put your message in the message box. That's all from my side.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. जी बताएं.
Thank you, sir.
If you have any question, please you can ask.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank
Thank
you so
you.
much
Thank
for
you.
your wonderful, valuable presentation.
Okay.
Our participants are immensely benefited from the presentation. It's
Thank
really,
you.
really a very quality presentation, informative presentation. We are
Okay.
very thankful to you, sir.
Okay. Apply these things in your place, in your area. That is the thing which is important for us. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much.